Right guys, welcome. This video is just a couple of minutes. Bear with me for it. It's absolutely key. And to be honest, an understanding of this will stop you from wasting money on products that you don't need, wasting money and time on ideas and concepts that are never going to work for fat loss. There's so many of them out there. There's so many people trying to sell things on social media or trying to tell you that because a diet's work for them, it's what you should do. These fundamentals that we cover in this video basically frame everything. It goes into a little bit of the underlying sciences, but we'll keep it as short and as simple as possible, just so that you get an introduction to the concepts and introduction to the things that make fat loss work, which is obviously absolutely essential to making good choices. But we'll also keep it short enough so that, you know, some of the things you don't need to know the calculations. If you want to ask me, you can ask separate in the group. So what we're going to cover today, energy balance and fat loss. Something that occasionally I see people argue that it's not relevant, and there's not an argument for this. This is absolutely the underlying cause of fat loss. It's also the underlying cause of fat gain as well. So just a basic understanding of this is key. That comes down to understanding calories, and understanding calories comes down to understanding the macronutrients that we're actually consuming. When we consume calories is an energy measure. We're actually consuming the proteins, carbs, fats, or even alcohols that are making up the calories, if you will. And we also need to be aware that micronutrients, the vitamins, minerals, various other chemicals, and various other parts in food have a massive impact on how our body works. So if we were to just focus on the calories, we can be missing a hell of a lot of really good nutrition that will actually ultimately mean that your body uses energy better, you feel more awake, you feel less hungry, and so on, which will help you with your fat loss journey. So energy balance, really simply, if we are wanting to lose fat, we need to consume less calories than we burn. Now we can do this by consuming a little bit less and maintaining a lot of muscle mass if we're a little bit more advanced, or we can consume quite a lot less, especially if you're newer to this fat loss journey. You know, you want to be moving a lot to burn more calories. You want to be mindful of how many you're consuming. There are ways to do this where you don't necessarily need to track your food. But if we want to set up for long-term success, for sustainable dieting, then understanding what calories are, understanding your energy balance is absolutely key. So tracking activity and tracking the food that you consume is really going to help you on this journey. So when we look at calories, as mentioned, a calorie is just a unit of energy. All it is a measure to tell us how much energy that food is providing for you in your body. We obviously burn energy just surviving, sitting, breathing, thinking, digesting food, moving. All the daily processes that we do all use energy. So it's obviously not just training, it's everything that we do. We are burning calories just at a different rate. Now, I'm not going to go into what energy systems we're using, what calories we burn. We don't really need to think too much about that just yet. What we do want to think about is that food, yes, gives us fuel. It gives us the calories that we need. But we need to look a little bit beyond that. Again, we mentioned that it gives us the vitamins, the minerals, everything that allows your body to work properly comes from food. So we need to make sure that we are not overly restrictive on some of these diets. If we're cutting out certain food groups, that may be fine, but we need to consider what we're doing. If you're living off, you know, the type of diets that go on soup diets for a few weeks, you are going to drop a hell of a lot of weight. You'll drop a lot of water. Your body will struggle to maintain lean mass. You won't be able to fuel exercise, so you won't be getting fitter as we do this. And there may be an impact on them sort of diets that when you start eating again and eating normally again, your body actually gains more weight afterwards, and you gain more body fat. So we need to be aware of what type of calorie restriction we're going on, what we're looking to do, and how we maximize the quality of nutrition alongside minimizing or certainly reducing the calories. Calories are equal in terms of energy only. So we'll see again another social media discussion that comes up. All calories are equal. When we look at it in terms of macronutrients, they are absolutely not. They all have a completely different role in your body. So yes, when we're looking at just energy balance, it is a measure of energy. So yes, a calorie is a calorie, a meter is a meter, a kilogram is a kilogram. But when we look at it in terms of what's making that up, we need to look a little bit deeper. That's what brings us on to macronutrients. So these are the actual foods that we consume, the actual products in the foods that we are taking on are the macronutrients. Out of this, we've got protein, 4 calories a gram. And it's absolutely essential, not just for muscle growth, which most people sort of put it up there for. It's essential in repairing and building enzymes, repairing your body, your immune system, your body's transport systems. So in terms of carrying oxygen and things, completely essential. DNA synthesis, just making sure that we are basically rebuilding, because we need to be aware that our body is building more than just muscle all the time. It's building enzymes, it's building hormones, it's transporting things. So protein has a role in all of this. So saying that high protein isn't necessary, especially when you're training and you're looking to improve the amount of muscle recovery that you get in and the body composition that you've got, there's a lot of arguments to say that high protein might be a better option here. Fats, calorie dense, it's 9 calories a gram. And this is where the demonization of fat comes in, is that it's really easy to overconsume energy through fats. But it's essential, again, in your body, it's essential in cell structure, it's essential when it comes to the nervous system, it's essential in building different hormones. So there's a hell of a lot of important roles that fat plays in your body. So we don't want to cut it out completely. It is important. What we need to do is be aware of how many calories through fats we're consuming. Then it comes to carbohydrate, which is the energy fuel, if you will. For your higher intensity training, carbohydrates are great fuel. For lower intensity training, which is what most people want to be starting a fat loss journey with, a little bit of resistance training and quite a lot of the lower intensity aerobic type training. Yes, your body is going to want to use carbohydrates, but it's not essential to take on large amounts of this. So keeping your carbs a little bit lower on a fat loss diet initially is often a really good thing to do. It's often a really good approach. Now, it's not essential. There's other things that we can do. Obviously, we can keep the fats lower and keep the carbs a little bit higher. But as long as we get the calories right, then to be honest, dropping your carbs and dropping your fats are probably going to be the approach that most of you guys take. What you might find is that your protein levels actually need to go up a little bit to cope with the extra demands that we're putting on your body in terms of training, in terms of exercise, in terms of recovery and so on. The often forgotten one is alcohol. Now, alcohol itself is a macronutrient and it contains around 7 calories a gram. So again, even if you have it with slimline tonics and things like that, anything containing alcohol will contain calories. There's no 0 calorie alcohols out there. So just important to be aware of. Now, we also need to consider fiber, which at this stage, all we need to know is that you need enough of it. You need to make sure that you're having a certain amount of high fiber foods. Now, as long as you're eating your fiber a day in terms of vegetables, you'll probably be absolutely fine with this. But it is essential for healthy digestion. If you're getting digestion issues come up, please speak to us. We'll go through what we think the likely causes are, or we will just refer out. And water, we need to make sure that obviously water is completely essential. So we need to make sure that we're consuming enough throughout the day, just to allow your body to function optimally. It can help to, keep you feeling more awake, keep you feeling more alert, move better, use energy better, and so on. So micronutrients, gut health, other considerations. Vitamins, minerals are completely essential for so many processes. Again, we're not going to go into detail. We're not going to get into it. But make sure that you are consuming adequate micronutrition. So fruits, vegetables, a good variety of different foods. When you go onto the diets that cut out certain food groups, that's where we start to really struggle with this. Cutting out fruit and things like that, fine, I completely understand it from like the keto point of view, but at the same time, it's not necessary for fat loss at all. Cutting out pizzas and donuts, they go a long way in terms of helping you to improve that fat loss. Cutting out fruits is probably not going to be your biggest concern. Prebiotics and probiotics can be completely essential for health as well. You know, we want healthy digestion. We want your digestive system to be working optimally to take the actual nutrition out of the food that you're putting into your body. So again, really essential. And to be honest, these can help protect against food intolerances and so on as well. So it's a really good thing to be including in your diet. On top of this, we need to consider that mood affects appetite, and it affects digestion, it affects all of this. So, you know, if you've had a hard day, you go home and get a bar of chocolate. Well, the thing there is that that's your go-to. We need other go-tos, and we need better ways to control your mood than these bad foods. Social factors, we need to sort of have a plan for going out, seeing friends, eating meals out, and so on. We can still include them at this stage in any fat loss journey. It's early days. We can absolutely still eat out and things like that. But if we're doing that, having an awareness of the types of meals to choose is really important. So, for example, rather than going out and getting a lasagna and a pizza, what you might do is go out and get a sea bass with a side of veg, and just go things that are going to support your fat loss journey a little bit better. And obviously finances, you know. For me, what I would suggest is that if you are looking to invest time into a fat loss journey, make sure that you're willing to spend a little bit more money on higher quality foods as well. Make sure that if you're putting your head and your time into this, be willing to do what it takes financially to actually make sure that you're buying high quality foods, that you're investing in, you know, the type of kit that you need to train and so on. So guys, the next video is fat loss nutrition. It's how we actually implement this. I know that this has been a background sciencey based one. I know that it's been less exciting than the other videos, but it's completely essential. So hopefully it's give you some introduction into the key concepts that we need to understand when we're trying to lose body fat. Now, before you do that, click on the calculator, which is attached to this video. It's a link, it'll either be below or at the side, depending on what you're watching it on, and work out what your target calories are, because this is going to be your starting point on your diet. If you've got any questions, simply drop them into the Facebook group. And again, guys, you know, we are here to help all the way through this. I know that this might be a different approach for you, but I can 100% guarantee that if you follow this approach through, you will get massive results over the next 30 days and beyond. So yeah, good luck. We will see you in the next video.